Yo, what is going on guys, Flashverse here and welcome back to another video on Superman and Lois. And earlier today we had the synopsis released for this show and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna react to this and do a breakdown on this. Like, I'm reading this for the first time as well, so you guys will get like my first impressions of the synopsis as well. But before I do that, you guys don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you are aware of more Arrowverse content coming your way. I am very close to 500 subscribers. I need 7 more subs, so let's try and hit 500 as soon as possible. Now, I've wanted to do a Superman and Lois video for such a long time. Every free time I had when this news came out, it's always been delayed. And I had to choose today between doing the set photos breakdown for the Batman movie or doing this video. And because I wanted to do the Superman and Lois video for such a long time, I've chose to do this. I've been really excited to do a video for such a long time, as I said, related to this. So thank God we have some synopsis released on a day I am free. So I will read over parts of the synopsis and I will share you guys my thoughts about this. So the synopsis starts as follows. We open on a fast-paced flashback of events narrated by Clark Kent himself, recounting the moment his pod crashed on Earth before Jonathan and Martha Kent's very eyes. To the day his adopted father died when he was only 16. Okay, so we know we've been introduced to Superman in Supergirl. So I didn't really think that there would be a need in doing this. But again, there will be totally new viewers who haven't seen any Arrowverse shows and would have just been watching this. So I do get why they chose to do this narration. Now I am very interested to see what they would do in terms of Clark's childhood. But so far this seems pretty cool. And his adopted father dies when he's 16. This seems pretty dark so far. Then we leave Smallville for Metropolis, where Clark is now the Superman the whole world admires and the handsome man Lois Lane is madly falling in love with. Now obviously this isn't only Superman's show, it is called Superman and Lois, so it does make sense that they're showing Lois and Clark's history so far. Now this does seem pretty rushed, which is kind of worrying, but I'm sure they'll find a way to sort it out. As time goes on, they move in together, then marry, and Lois gives birth to twins, Jonathan, the always happy, easy baby, and Jordan, the crying and tormented one. As they get older, there's a stark physical difference between the two twins. At 13, Jonathan is stronger than the other boys and a star athlete, while Jordan is darker, diagnosed with social anxiety disorders, and always on his computer. The real identity of their father is unknown to them, but could it be that Jonathan got his powers and Jordan didn't? Okay, so this part is very interesting. Now, we know that we have a crisis change as Clark no longer has baby Jonathan, but instead has 2 twins in the age of 13. Now, I am aware that they casted 19-year-olds to play these kids, but I do get why, because the kids can't act, so I do get why they casted older people to play these kids. They'll probably cover up by saying, oh, it's Kryptonian physique or something. Who knows? Now, we have Jonathan Kent, who is actually Superboy in the comics, and he is Kryptonian. He's a lot stronger and a star athlete, as the synopsis said. But Jordan, on the other hand, is a totally made-up character for this show. Now, in case you guys didn't notice, Jordan is for Jor-El, who is Superman's father. Now, he is diagnosed with disorders and he's a gamer, and totally the opposite of his brother, which I think is pretty cool. So, as you can see, it also says that there are differences as they grow older, and this is because of the fact that Jonathan would be Kryptonian, who has Clark's powers, and Jordan, in the other hand, is mainly human or could be partially Kryptonian. I don't know. Now, I don't know how they don't know that their father's identity is Superman, because if Jonathan is Kryptonian, then he would be able to fly and do everything that Superman can. So I am very interested to see how Clark will sort that out. Maybe he gives him a blue kryptonite or something without him noticing. therefore suppressing Jonathan's powers or something. I don't know. In present day, we're thrown into chaos inside a nuclear power plant, where a Fukushima-sized disaster has just begun. General Samuel Lane can only think of one solution, calling his son-in-law, Superman, to stop the disaster. Now, obviously, we met Samuel Lane in Supergirl, and it turns out that he will be part of the show as well. And the relationship between Sam and Clark seems good, but I am very interested to see if Samuel knows that Clark is Superman. That's exactly what Superman does. By freezing an adjacent lake, creating a massive iceberg that in turn cools the world again. He goes back to his family to kiss his boys goodnight. The next day, Clark gets fired from his long-time job at the Daily Planet, which is downsizing now that the journal is part of a media conglomerate owned by billionaire Morgan Edge, who doesn't care about real journalism or even facts. Okay, so the next thing to go over, which is really interesting, Clark gets fired. So would he now be a part-time father and a part-time superhero, or will he just be focusing on like being Superman the whole way? I don't know. But goddamn, Morgan Edge fires him. And we know that he's a villain, as we have seen him in Supergirl as well. Now, because this show is called Superman and Lois, you would expect there to be two villains, one for Superman and one for Lois. So I am guessing that Morgan Edge will be the villain for Lois Lane in season 1 of Superman and Lois. But Clark doesn't have time to think about that before he hears a cry for help from his mother asking him to come home. When he arrives back at the farm, it's too late. She's dead. Okay, now this is really goddamn dark, as they literally killed Martha Kent in the first bloody episode. Holy crap. Now, obviously they don't mention like who killed her, but I do have a theory on who I think it was. Now, they did say that there will be a character who goes by the name Captain Luthor, and I think that he will be the main villain for Superman in this season. Now, it doesn't say if it is Lex Luthor or another version. I hope it's Lex Luthor. Having John Cryer in there would be awesome. But again, John Cryer has a main role in Supergirl so far, so I don't think that is our Lex Luthor that we have seen. Who is this Captain Luthor character? And we know Crisis has resulted to doppelgangers appearing on One Earth, so maybe this could be a doppelganger of Lex. But again, Lex Luthor is a very famous person, so he would be getting some like hate all around the news if this like other Lex Luthor ends up being a villain. And not only that, Lex Luthor would have noticed that there was another version of him around, so he would try and hunt him down. So I don't know who this Captain Luthor is. No such character who goes by the name Captain Luthor exists in the comics. So this guy is clearly made up as well. Maybe it's a fraud or something. I do not know. But so far it doesn't seem like it's Lex Luthor. But I am very interested to see who this is. A few days later, at the funeral, he sees Lana Lang. She still lives in Smallville, where she's a banker, married to Kyle Cushing, a firefighter. Together they had 2 daughters, Sarah, who's 14, and just as dark as Jordan, and Sophie, who's 8. Lana has something to tell Clark, something that'll make him rethink his whole life. Okay, now these parts I don't need to do a breakdown because it isn't that interesting, apart from that last part when he said something that Lana has to tell Clark something that will make him rethink his whole life. I don't know what it is. I'm very interested to see what it is, but so far this synopsis seems really goddamn cool. The episode 1 seems really cool, but at the start I'm guessing will be kind of rushed, but still it looks really cool and I cannot wait for this to come out. Thanks for watching, guys. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Tell me in the comment section down below what you guys think of all of this, and I will see you guys in my next video.